Good start against her former team as she gets the strikeout to end the frame. 1, 2, 3 go the Buccaneers. Gamecocks coming to bat. No score here in Columbia. Well, the crowd likes what they've seen so far as a 1, 2, 3 inning in the top of the first brings the Gamecocks to the bat for the first time against Charleston Southern's Mackenzie Rudkoff. The senior from San Diego, transfer from Colorado at Colorado Springs, where she played 3 years. It's her first year at Charleston Southern. You see her numbers on the season. Last outing this Saturday, and no decision against Radford. 4 innings, give up 4 runs, 2 earned, 5 hits, 2 strikeouts, and a walk.
Thank you.
Quincy Lilio to lead things off for the Gamecocks. The center fielder takes one down low, and we're underway. Here's the Gamecock lineup. Rhodey moving up a little bit in the lineup as they've shifted things around a little bit to try to protect her, according to Coach Ashley Chastain-Woodard.
Yeah, one thing to keep an eye on here, Brad, is, for South Carolina, they not really depend as much, but they certainly lean on their patience at the plate a lot. They are among the nation's leaders in walks. They average about 5 a game as an offense. Meanwhile, you're working against a pitcher in Rudkoff that we showed the number a moment ago. She's only walked 9 batters all year in almost 50 innings. So, your opportunities are going to be limited. You're going to have to be eager at the plate and work through these ABs.
Lilio's worked a 3-0 count. Here you saw her numbers. The Gamecocks leading hitter just nipped the outside corner. Lilio thought it was ball 4.
And that's what good pitchers do. Your experienced arm. She's a senior in the circle. She can battle back here, get down an early 3-0. Lilio's going to take that pitch most of the way unless it's just right down Broadway. Good job from Rudkoff to work the outside edge.
3-1 got the corner again to work a full count as Rudkoff battles back. Lilio, Gamecocks leading hitter, 12th in the SEC with that .430 average. Also 6th in on-base percentage and 6th in the SEC with 34 walks.
It got the job done. And in that spot, with 2 runners in score position, you're trying to drive them in and do a job. And South Carolina's been consistent at that all year.
35 RBI for Winters on the season. That's second on the team only to Ariana Rhodey. So runner at second, still nobody out. 3 runs in for the right fielder, Abigail Knight. Another transfer from Charlotte, started her career at Boston College. He's also been a nice addition in right field. Strike on the outside corner.
And early on, Brad, I gave Carly Shelton the nickname Mrs. Consistency at the plate. I look at a player like Abigail Knight, and she just goes, I think, under the radar so much. You can look at players like Ariana Rhodey as an All-American and Carly Shelton as a top 10 recruit nationally coming out of high school, and you can easily draw to those names at the top of the scouting report. And I think that's what allows Abigail Knight to maybe fly under the radar. This is a talented ball player. You got a lefty bat who's got some pop to her, got a lot of good speed on the base pass, and someone who can really step in and follow up those big-time names that a lot of people label at the top of the South Carolina lineup. She's bounced around a little bit, 5th, 6th, 7th in the order this year, but she's an experienced bat, her 6th year, and a player the coaching staff really believes in.
1-2, flares that one foul. Rudkoff trying to get out of a further jam here. Runner at second with nobody out. Yeah, you're right. I was thinking the same thing before the game. Abigail Knight maybe doesn't get the headlines that some of the other players at the top of the lineup get, but hitting in the back end of the lineup, she's helping turn it over. She's consistently on base, hitting .321. Spoils another one. I think one of the big questions that a lot of people had coming into this year with all the transfers that came from places like Charleston Southern and Charlotte was, okay, they're good players, but can they do it consistently against SEC? No errors and nobody left on base. Gamecocks starting early, 29 and winning 16 in a row, and the first time for head coach Ashley Chastain-Woodard as the skipper of the Gamecocks here at her alma mater. Gamecocks won here last year 6-0. Anaya Black had 2 2-run homers in that game for South Carolina. There's Coach Christy Musser of Charleston Southern in her 5th year as the head coach down in Charleston. 4, 5, and 6 due up against Neely Lamb, the former Buccaneer, who got him 1, 2, 3 in the first inning. Shortstop Emma Villascusa lead things off. Redshirt junior, another out of Phoenix, Arizona. Lamb up high with that one. Lamb last year, obviously tremendous at Charleston Southern, was the Big South pitcher and freshman of the year. First time that's ever happened in the Big South. See the defense for the Gamecocks. Emma Sellers getting the start in left field, where Emily Vinson normally is, but Sellers trying to get another bat out there. Sellers normally a middle infielder, but Gamecocks are pretty set there right now up the middle, so wanted to give Sellers some opportunity to get some more swings. She's out there in left field. Perhaps the longest at bat we've seen so far of the game, and it's a 2-2 count.
It was. Neely Lamb's having to battle here a little bit. She sat down Charleston Southern quickly, but as they were
Neely Lamb
just calm, cool, and collected. Sometimes, Brad, players can really build up emotion when it's a big game like this against a former team. That Neely Lamb's going up here against Charleston Southern, but she's just been strong and steady all year, and she's continuing to lean on that just consistency here tonight.
Center fielder Weslyn Jones stands in. Fouls that first pitch out of play. Jones, a senior out of Walterboro, South Carolina. These two teams met last year. Jones, a part of that team, was 0 for 3 against the Gamecocks. Was their second leading hitter a year ago at .313. Average down a little bit this year at .262. And Lamb way ahead, no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, the batting average down a bit, but she's still been pretty productive for CSU. 27 hits, almost 20 RBIs as well. To have a player like that in the middle of the order can really provide a spark, especially for her. She's counting on players at the top of the order to be on base and drive them in, but she's also really serving as that piece. She's getting on base at a 356 clip. She's trying to be on base as well and be a run scorer as well as a run producer.
The Gamecocks have the outfield in a little bit for the slap hitter, and Lelio shaded towards left center there in center field. Just missed. Jones has a younger sister on the team as well, Lindley Jones, who's a sophomore. Just got a piece of it to stay alive. Beautiful day for softball. Great day to be outdoors after the heavy rains yesterday. Kind of washed away the yellow pollen, at least for a day.
Yeah, you can breathe a little bit out here today for sure.
Good at bat here for Jones to stay alive. Yeah, spring has sprung here. I was gone the last couple of weeks traveling with basketball. The Gamecocks, South Carolina leading it 6-0 as we head to the bottom of the second. Bottom of the second, South Carolina leading Charleston Southern 6-0, and the Buccaneers have gone to their bullpen. It'll be the freshman Kinsey Clopton taking over.
Yeah, certainly a key for Clopton here is going to be keeping those walk numbers down, an area that she's given up 68 in this year against a South Carolina team that I mentioned it back in the first inning, Brad. They lean a heavily amount on the walk, and they count that as just a big quality at bat for them to put themselves in scoring position. And you look at Quincy Lelio, who starts off this second inning. She started off the bottom of the first with a walk, and that led to 6 runs on 5 hits.
Yep, set the table and chases the starting pitcher. As Mackenzie Rutkoff, the senior, only went an inning, allowed the 6 runs on 5 hits, had that 1 walk, no strikeouts. And quickly 2-0 to Lelio. Nipped the outside corner there. Clopton, despite the heavy walk numbers, the 53 strikeouts are 9th in the Big South so far this season. Too far off the plate there. Good discipline by Lelio, who after that walk in the first inning has now reached in 7 straight. Out here, with very few pitches in the zone, and it brings up the catcher Lexi Winters, who did some damage last inning with a 2-run double. Came around to score as well.
Hey, Brad, you go back to last Friday in the series opener in a top 20 matchup against Ole Miss. This is a South Carolina team that duked it out all the way into extras, and then you got to the 8th inning with a scoreless game. They drew 4 straight walks to put the walk-in, walk-off, and that was a second time they had done that this year. I think earlier on they took on a North Carolina team, and they run-ruled that one, but it was because they walked in a couple runs. So this is a South Carolina team that understands the power of being patient at the plate. And at this point, for how Clopton has come out here in relief here in the second, Lexi Winters' bat, it's resting comfortably on the shoulder. She's not trying to eagerly swing at all.
Pitching coach Ashley Ercolano out there to try to settle her down. And she'll try to do some more damage here as Clopton talked about when she took the circle. The control has been a problem with the heavy walk total coming in. And she has struggled to find the strike zone, walking Liglio, Rhodey, and Shelton. And a 2-0 count to Lexi Winters. Down the middle, and Winters taking all the way. See her numbers on the year. Told you Blankenship's been the hottest hitter for the Gamecocks, hitting in the 7-hole today. Just off the plate there.
Yeah, she's been huge in conference play this year, Brad, hitting .385 in SEC play this year. She drove in 4 runs there and only struck out 3 times. She has been a big reason why South Carolina's won 3 conference series in a row.
Hit foul. Yeah, the lone series they lost was their first SEC series at #1 Oklahoma, the 4-time defending champs. And they were all 1-run games. So right away, you kind of raised your eyebrow and said, wow, South Carolina's competing.
Yeah, and I think for them, for how their non-conference schedule shaped up, it was built with a lot of NCAA tournament teams from last year that, when you put them.
And it brings up the third baseman, Charlie Yorman. Yorman, a junior, Texas native. Came to Charleston Southern as a catcher, but has been playing as a corner infielder because they were set behind the plate. She played in last year's game against the Gamecocks, went 0 for 3. Gamecocks won that one 6-0, leading 9-0 here. See her numbers on the year. Off the plate for Lamb. She falls behind for one of the few times so far this evening.
Yeah, that's uncharacteristic so far here tonight for Neely Lamb for what she's done here this evening. Obviously, South Carolina 9 runs. That's huge. But on the flip side, she's gone 6 up, 6 down, 3 punch outs. She's had really just strong command of the zone.
Deals a strike here. Yeah, so far on the season for Neely Lamb, including the 3 strikeouts tonight, 67 strikeouts against 18 walks in over 50 innings of work. Falls behind here, 3-1. Bucks just looking for a base runner here.
First time a CSU hitter seen 3 balls in a game.
Bottom of the 3rd in Columbia. South Carolina leading Charleston Southern 9-0. And 3rd straight inning, a new pitcher for the Buccaneers as Brenna Conley, a freshman, is checked in.
Yeah, big spot here for the Georgia native as she tries to step in and kind of help calm down this South Carolina offense so far that's put 6 hits up on the board, most of which have come for extra bases. So she's going to have to step in and work through 8-9-1 in their order and really do something that, unfortunately, Kinsey Clopton couldn't do in the 2nd inning, and that's keep the walks down.
Now she starts with a strike here. Clopton 1 inning. Gave up 3 runs on 1 hit with 4 walks and a strikeout. Natalie Heath at the plate and had a sac fly in the 1st inning to drive in a run when the Gamecocks played at 6. Heath hitting in the 8th spot today. Conley, you saw 28 walks, 28 strikeouts coming into today. Her last outing was against Radford on Saturday. No decision in relief. Went 2/3 of an inning. Allowed 1 run without a hit, 2 strikeouts. Nice change of pace there.
And for Natalie He, she's a player, Brad, that's been huge for South Carolina in non-conference games this year, too. Hitting .426 against non-SEC opponents with 3 homers. And, Brad, that was the really exclamation point on that inning. 1 more run scored after that, but Blankenship just saw what all of our teammates had done before and said, well, if all you were throwing a hit parade, I'll just join in.
Now, it looks like, unfortunately, we're going to have as we gave all that love to Blankenship, we've got a pinch hitter for her. Well, that's okay. We got to highlight her triple because you don't see too many of those. As Gamecocks will go to their bench, and Audrey Wilson has grabbed a bat, a freshman out of Fort Mill, South Carolina.
A 9-run game like this, Brad, it gives the coaching staff some flexibility a little bit, some breathing room to work in some younger faces, right? We saw Maya Flint lead off the inning. You see Audrey Wilson here. Shay Anderson ran earlier on, as did Nia McKnight. So it's a freshman class that Coach Jessing Woodard's pieced together and worked in at various moments throughout the season. And all of them have come through with big spots throughout the year.
Wilson 0 for 8 on the season, looking for her first hit as a Gamecock. Got her brother Harrison, who plays baseball up the road at Winthrop University up in Rock Hill. Brenna Conley in the circle for her 2nd inning of work. The 3rd pitcher of the day for the Bucks.